What's going on, Midlothian? We're back at you, the Seaman City Chatter Podcast, coming to you live from the Opoka Palace. To my right, as always, Mr. John Opoka. What's up?
What's happening? How are you?
To my left, the one who only needs one name, Tiffany.
One name, Tiffany.
What's going on?
Man, it's different.
Isn't there already a one named Tiffany?
Yes. And
she was
we
like
share
an
a middle
80s
name
pop
too.
star?
Yeah,
There
we
might
share
be.
a middle name also.
And the one that interrupted me right across the street from me, the Rolex wearing,
It's what I do.
diamond
Interrupted.
ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun. And he's having a hard time holding his alligators down, Mr. Tim Wilkins. What's going on,
I'm
baby
having
bubba?
a hard time
John.
holding my cookies down.
Rob, it gets
see?
better every time, I tell you what.
See, we missed you last week.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
we
had some
did.
fun. I just want to tell you right now, I went back and I watched the, I think it was entitled The One We Shouldn't Make.
Yeah, nice.
And it's so funny because as soon as I turned it on YouTube, there's a bug flying around here. I'm going to get it, Mr. Miyagi style.
You don't have any chopsticks.
Anyhow, so I turned it on and I'm like, there's Marnie. Oh man, this one's going to be R-rated.
And she didn't even say her favorite word.
And she didn't even, but that's
Tim was the one
okay.
that dropped the dingleberry word a lot.
Now,
Yeah,
John, let's
that's
talk
true.
about
My
your
language went a little off the rails on that one.
yeah, John. Let's talk about your intro skills.
Yeah, what, the lack of?
I was
No,
very
they were
impressed.
great.
No.
I was
Oh,
impressed.
Oh,
whatever.
no, come on now.
No.
No.
You
Yeah,
did a
no,
phenomenal job.
I went off the rails on the language
Even
because
Georgie is like at you.
I know. I got
coughing
it.
a hairball.
No, you
He's
did a great
huffing at
job.
Oh, okay. But thank you.
But man, I'm sorry I missed it last week. Just had some things going on, and you know, sometimes I can't always be as dedicated as Mr. Midlothian, Mr. Magic, Mr. Tim Wilkins.
Oh please! I'm telling you, you're talking about cookies or alligators. I'm talking
All
about
you're
cookies.
doing is feeding his ego.
cookies.
Right?
You're making that head that's already big enough as it is.
Oh, come on,
No.
guys. No, it's a...
So what's going on,
Tim
Tim?
walks into Kroger and
Well-
everybody goes, look, shh, there's Tim Wilkins.
Okay,
Oh my God. Oh my God, it's really Tim Wilkins?
I have been outed at Kroger before, but no. Last week was a little.
Is it because you're walking
like I
around with an
said-
upside down pineapple?
Hold on a second, guys.
Outing himself.
Apparently, a podcast with a multi-person format of people just having a conversation that may tend to talk over each other
What?
is not accepted by one
Oh.
individual in Midlothian.
Oh, what's his
Yeah.
name?
Now,
Oh, I know what his name was.
Yeah.
It's the name that I
Wait,
use for
Brad,
male patrons.
Brad, if you're listening,
I don't like
Brad.
to call people out by
Brad
name.
doesn't like it when people
Brad.
talk over each other,
I
does
only
he?
said that
Brad.
that's my word for
Brad,
male
Brad.
Karen.
Brad, we're all talking over
Brad.
each other,
Same time.
Brad.
We're talking over Brad
Brad,
again.
if you're
Brad.
listening, Brad.
Interrupt
Come
her.
on, Brad.
Interrupt her.
Okay.
Okay, back to
I'm going to totally
get that out
tag
of the way.
Brad on this one.
Well, what I was actually trying to say was I went off the rails because somebody was doing something that particularly irks me, which is personally attacking someone else over things like politics or difference of opinion.
Right.
You know.
Which people get confused with in Midlothian, commenting on people's voting records, commenting on the way that what they've said is their political stance, not a personal attack.
Right.
Commenting on character, commenting, making accusations that can or cannot be
Right.
proven.
Yep.
Yeah, also
Spreading
attacking
gossip.
all those things.
Anyway, so yeah, I get that kind of stuff gets me bent out of shape, and so yeah, I felt pretty strongly about that last episode. So
What?
apologies to anybody who thinks I didn't have that in me.
Well, then obviously they haven't
Right.
like sat down and had a conversation with you, but obviously, obviously it struck a nerve.
well, you know,
My
this
husband
season's
keeps
been.
sending me pictures of the freaking food. Really?
Oh
food?
my goodness,
Like dinner? Hold on.
is he on daddy duty?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
always
here,
is
hang
a
on.
dad.
Let's share it with
Oh, well, we've
everybody
already
here.
been through this.
Hold
Sean's
on.
the cook.
Oh, yeah.
Oh look!
Sean
look
is
at
a
this
magnificent
beautiful,
cook, I'll
like
tell you what.
beautiful spare rib that he made, and look, then he sends me the one with the sesame seeds
You're
on
probably
it.
better off not eating Tiffany's cooking, but Sean is a
I don't cook
magnificent
nasty
chef.
food.
Why doesn't Sean just come over here and cook? I'll set up the Blackstone and he can
Oh,
all set.
Oh, he would
yes.
like that, actually.
I'm on board with that.
Yes.
But
we
hey,
need to do
guys,
that.
we've got someone here with us today.
Yeah,
What?
absolutely.
Sorry,
Hey, we're doing a show.
squirrel.
So today we've got my friend Casey Barnes. Now he's everyone's friend.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Casey.
Casey.
With this microphone, I feel like I have to talk like this.
Yes.
It's okay if you want to talk like that the whole time. You certainly
Probably
can.
not, but I appreciate it.
All right. So I've known Casey for several years, and I've known him as a parent and husband, and he has some really special kids for sure. And his wife, I will let you talk about your own family, but Casey, I know you're here to talk about several different things, but why don't you tell me a little about yourself and your family?
Absolutely. Name's Casey Barnes, like Tim had mentioned. My wife is Jen Barnes. She's a teacher at the MHS. My two kiddos, I have Margot, who is in.
You're
get that?
fired.
Oh. We should put him on in a minute as a special guest star.
My daughter Margot, she is the mascot, one of the mascots at Dietrich Middle School. She'll be going to the 8th grade next year, and then my son Jack is now officially the varsity mascot for Midlothian High School.
Nice.
All right.
And one of the things about Jack that is so unique is that he is on the autism spectrum, and just an amazing feel-good story about Jack from the time that I met Jen until now. We've been married almost 9 years, and we're a blended family. But when I first met Jen, I met this young little guy that was nonverbal. I think he was about 5 when I first met him, and would make noises, squeak, didn't communicate well, to now where this kid is running around in this Panther costume on the football fields, acting like he owns the joint, and just the progress that in itself, in this interest that he took in middle school and becoming.
So what grade
a
is he in? Did you just say that?
He's a freshman now.
He's a freshman.
He is a freshman.
So varsity mascot out of the gate as a freshman.
Well, he will be next year as a sophomore.
He was selected to be next
Okay,
year's
gotcha.
varsity mascot.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shadow, who was this past year's
Right.
past seasons, he retired.
Yes.
And so
That
now
was
Rowdy.
Aiden Shaver.
Yeah. So now Rowdy, who is Bubs in his outfit.
Yeah.
So
is the new
How do you become the mascot? I mean,
Oh, no, I don't want to know how that part works. Go ahead.
is
though,
it a
with that,
tryout
but,
thing,
I mean, not
just
that
like
I,
the cheerleaders,
Yeah,
the drill
absolutely.
team, and everybody?
Yeah,
has
absolutely,
to do?
absolutely. So he actually took an interest in. He went to Frank Seal in his 7th grade year. He noticed this kiddo running around in this Panther Cub costume and showed interest. At that time, even in middle school, he was very much an introvert. Barely spoke even then. Saw this kid run around, showed interest, and so we got him plugged in. And man, when he put this costume on, it was just the ultimate security blanket, maybe,
Huh.
for him, because I guarantee you what we saw, if you hadn't told me that was my kid in that costume, I wouldn't have believed it.
Right.
He just came out of his shell. It was amazing how energetic he was, how interactive he was with individuals, and then to the point now to where it's gotten to the point where he doesn't have to have the costume to interact. He has a passion to be rowdy, and for football, for Midlothian football.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, he loves being on that field. And I'll tell you one thing.
Let's go Midlow.
Exactly. And once we saw that, my wife Jen and I, which by the way is an amazing woman, I married up.
Indeed. Even though she did come with God's warning sign, right?
Right.
She's a redhead.
Yes, she is a redhead.
God's warning sign.
Well,
That's
and
true.
there's a lot of good in knowing where you stand with an individual.
It's fair. It's fair.
Hey, she'll tell you how it is.
Yeah,
But,
so no,
but she's amazing.
I've known you both for several years now, and I tell you what, I just adore you both, and
Thank you. I appreciate it.
what you were saying earlier, I've spent a fair amount of time around Jack, relative to some people, I suppose, but he never really did get super, open or
He became a
verbal.
recluse. If we had any kind of get-togethers with friends or anything. He
Right.
would go back to the room, shut the door, and he was perfectly content
Yeah.
with his headsets on and not interacting.
And you know, and he was never rude or
No,
you
no.
know, anything like that.
Very
Just-
bashful.
Just yeah,
bashful.
bashful. That's really
Yeah.
a great word to describe the way he seemed.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's so amazing about now to the point where he's developed this passion for sports in general.
Oh, nice.
You know, where when I met Jen, you know, she made it clear once we realized that we wanted to be together, you know, that we were going to have a future together, that hey, he's more than likely going to be with us for the rest of our life. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. I didn't care. I mean, I loved all of them. I
Yeah.
wanted the package.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
But it getting in, him becoming the mascot, seeing him develop socially to now where I tell you one thing that it's hard not to get emotional about is we never knew how. You never know, and you're guarded, and you have a much better understanding when you have a kiddo with a special need in your house as opposed to seeing kids or adults out in public. You know, it changes your world. But what we've experienced with just the football players and other kids at the high school embracing Jack, acknowledging Jack, man,
it just
it's
makes
amazing.
you feel like there's still faith in humanity.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does.
And you're absolutely right. You know, and you brought that up. That reminded me. You know, like as you know, my son is in the marching band, and so like I'm down on the field pushing the equipment around or whatever.
Right.
So I got this last season. I got to see him down on the field, although he wasn't in costume.
Yeah.
You know, he was with your wife, who is the cheerleading coach, right?
Yeah, she's the freshman cheer coach.
A freshman cheer coach. Okay. And so he was down there, and you could tell he was kind of like practicing his mascot moves or whatever. But yeah, like the players seemed to really kind of like embrace him and, you know, like,
So he was out there practicing before he even got the job.
Well,
he was.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, you.
Oh, I was going to say he was
That's
the mascot.
dedication.
He was mascot before,
He was
right?
JV.
Yeah.
For like, but also at Dietrich, right?
No, at Frank Seal.
At Frank Seal.
He
That's
was at
right.
Frank Seal.
That's
So
right. But
seventh
one of
and
your
eighth
kids is
grade.
at Dietrich.
Yeah, my daughter.
That's how I'm getting.
It's in the
confused.
family. The siblings
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
We have sibling mascots, and it's been great for both of my daughter as well, and just the opportunity there.
she is so sweet. by
She
the
is.
way. She's
You know,
just a
I
real
never
sweetheart.
knew
You
the
know,
process of this, and I have a niece that 2 years ago in 8th grade was the mascot for Walnut Grove.
Okay.
And, you know, I've never thought to ask how that comes about, you know, because it's
go
not
ahead.
like cheerleaders. We're going to get 14 of you guys. We're going to get, you know, football
Right.
player, all 56 of you guys may or
Right.
may not make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking about one spot here.
Right.
How many
Well,
people do show up for that?
Or is it one spot? Am I wrong?
It depends on the school. Like Dietrich, they have 3 spots, and this year my daughter tried out. This will be her. She'll be going into her second year next year, but she tried out and made it, and did a great job on her skit. What they do is they perform a skit that lasts about a minute and a half or so.
Yeah.
Interact with the crowd. There's certain criteria you have to meet. Certain aspects of interaction and Jack, what's amazing, one of the many things that's amazing about this kid is his memory. My gosh, I wish I had a memory. It's funny too, because if you tell that kid that you're going to take him and do something with him on a specific day, you better remember.
Yeah.
You absolutely better remember.
You know, would you say that there's truth to kids or adults even that may have disabilities in one aspect of life have strengths in others? Because, you know, I grew up with one of my best friends. His brother Vincent was, and I don't want to put the diagnosis on it because I don't know exactly what it was,
Right.
but had a challenge of some sort. But let me tell you, you could ask this kid when it came to basketball players.
Yeah.
How tall was Michael Jordan? He
Yeah.
would tell you. Name no name players.
Yes.
How tall was just an average, not Wheaties box player,
Right.
And he just go through the roster
Yes.
of the Mavericks, you know, and he would tell you how, because he would study these cards,
Yeah.
and he retained everything.
That's Jack. So and what's interesting, I mean, you know, it's called the autism spectrum because there's such a wide range. And you could interact with somebody on a regular basis that you might just think's a little off or odd, or maybe not the best at being social, that could be on the spectrum, but extremely intelligent to the point where there could be an individual with autism that can't even speak or communicate.
And that's my experience. You know, I
Yeah.
think I told you before we shot, and shout out to Chris and Kelly Rattery, who were my neighbors for so many years, and their son Jordan. You know, when I met those guys, I didn't know anything about autism. And
Right.
Kelly and Chris, again, you made the comment.
Wait, like Lee
What's that?
Rattery? Like Lee
Yes,
Rattery?
Lee Rattery's son.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
Chris then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is absolutely Lee Rattery's son.
Yeah.
And
Used to
so
work
it'd
the
be
door at the Tux.
Correct. It would be Lee's grandson, Jordan. I knew nothing about autism.
Yeah.
And because they moved in next door to me and I was their neighbor, there were some things they needed to educate me on.
Yeah.
Because I needed to be aware. I needed to, as their neighbor, needed to know how to handle.
Absolutely.
You know, when Jordan would run over to my house and run straight in my front door.
Yeah.
You know.
No, absolutely.
And then also just as a group of friends, we're all having our eyes on one human being that needs as much support as possible. So
right. And
Something village.
yeah, it takes a village, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
It takes a village. And that's, you know, the way you were describing just the memory about sports figures earlier, that is Jack. I mean, so a really neat story. I wasn't in his life or Jen's life yet, but when he was 3 or 4 maybe, a friend of my wife's gave her tickets to Texas Motor Speedway to go watch a NASCAR race. She didn't know anything about it. She wasn't sure if she wanted to go. The friends, you know, just take the tickets. If he doesn't, you know, buy him some hearing protection. If he doesn't want to stay, you're not going to hurt my feelings, no problem. Well, Jack was nonverbal at that time. And she took him to that race. And for the first time he spoke.
Really?
So, yes. Just, I wish I could have been there to experience it. You know,
How old was he?
I'm thinking he was 4, maybe
Okay.
4 or so, maybe 5. I know Jen will let me know when she sees this, she'll correct me. But he, if I remember correctly from what Jen told me, he said that these cars were going by, and he said, "Car fast," and that was it. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
we're coming to NASCAR races. So
Right.
when the race was over, he didn't want to leave. He got pretty distraught, and so she took him out to one of the souvenir stands and bought him a die-cast car. And it was funny because she and I met actually online back in 2013. And as we were getting to know each other, I told her the company that I work for, which sponsors one of the race teams, the NASCAR teams.
Right.
And she immediately said, "Oh, well, you work for, you know, this group and you sponsor X driver." And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know?" And this is just communication. We're just messaging on this on this
Right.
platform.
Right.
And she's like, "Yeah, we're big fans." And
Was it like MySpace or something?
no, it was
Or
actually
Match.com
it was
or-
Christian Mingle actually.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it
I
was
forgot
Christian
about
Mingle.
that. Yeah.
Which it was funny. Yeah, that's a whole other story with me trying to get back into the dating game, anyways. But no. So we connected and started talking quite a bit, and then finally decided to meet. And I had been a race fan. I've been a NASCAR fan for a while, and I kind of fizzled out. But getting back in to it and seeing the sentimental attachment and just the emotional attachment with Jack, we're consistent. You know, 2 weeks ago, Jack and I were down in Austin.
I was gonna say this story is not over because I know you live at the racetrack at this point. Yeah.
Quite a bit. And I won't rabbit trail too much further into that.
But needless to say, he's
But-
still a race fan.
Absolutely, major
Who's his
race fan.
favorite driver? Does he have one?
He has a couple of different drivers. I think Kyle Busch is one of them. Yeah. He, but there's multiples, but he can tell you every one of them. And
Right.
Just coming back to the point I was trying to make originally, there's just so much coming to mind about Jack that I want to share. But he can tell you. I mean, these football players, the names. You can tell him, hey, what's this player? The number so and so on this team. Oh, that's so and so. And I mean, it's there. It's there. It's just this memory that he has it's amazing.
Well, and autism is not an intelligence challenge.
No, not by
It's
no
more
stretch.
like an interface challenge.
It's a processing.
Okay.
It's about processing and how, and I can only speak to my experiences with Jack. I mean, there's times where he could be trying to absorb something, or you could have a conversation with him and you might think he's not paying any attention. Well, it may not absorb then, but maybe later that night it will. Or if he gets overstimulated, he has these little tics where he'll do certain things. It's called stimming, where he'll take an object and he'll put it really close to his eye, or he'll do certain motions, and it's just kind of a stress reliever, helps him kind of decompress.
Right.
And so, and this is actually, April is Autism Awareness Month. And that's one of the things that, I think about now. To me, after being with Jack, I think, and for any special needs individual, I think out in public, you don't have to know everything about it, but maybe just be a little more alert to an individual's actions or how they speak, or if they don't speak, I think I used to be the type of person that if I saw a kid pitching a fit in a store, it was like, man, that parent really needs to take that kiddo out and address that issue. And but now I know, like Jen, she had these cards made when she would go to the grocery store to hand out to people that had Jack's name on it, and would say, "Hello, my name is Jack. I have autism, and this is the reason I may, X, Y, Z." He might have had a breakdown because he didn't get something and he couldn't communicate.
Right.
So,
Oh man.
and when I just can't even fathom not being able to express how I feel or communicate it,
No, you're right.
verbalize it, and then eventually it's. There's times where you're just gonna kind of blow your top.
Well, that's how we have, as humans, get over things.
Yeah.
Just in general, whether it be a bad day or
that expression,
emotions. Sometimes
venting or whatever.
Personally, if I get angry, sometimes just yelling helps. Ask my kids.
Right.
Helps get over it.
No, I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine not being able to yell.
Right.
Not being able to.
You already know this, and I already know this, but your wife is a champ, and that's
She's amazing.
It's true, and knowing this beyond just when you meet her, you're like, oh, this is someone pretty special. She's talented and this sort of thing. But then you hear about how she was dealing with this on her own,
right,
and everything, and the level at which she did that, and you realize
Absolutely.
what a really special woman she is,
especially as a single mother.
Yes,
raising two kiddos with special needs, and managing a job, a career as a teacher, and taking care of those kids very well, I might add. She amazes me, and I think that's one thing that people don't think about when they meet an individual. They may be driven, they may come off a little direct, but you never really know what's going on in somebody's life or what they manage,
right,
or what they've been dealt. But it's definitely made me being in Jack's life, having him in my life, and Jen and our family. I think it's made me much more observant and patient as far as just in any scenario, to sit back and kind of observe what's going on before I react. But no, I agree, man. Like I said, I definitely, I am very fortunate to have met Jen and have Jack and Margot in my life.
And let's not pretend she's not fortunate too, right?
Well, what can I say?
No, you guys are going to take over Midlothian as a couple. I'll tell you that.
I don't know about all that, but no, I didn't say this earlier, but thank you so much for having me on. To have this platform to share this, and just it's amazing, and in the world of cheer itself, just meeting some of these girls and being introduced to this world that Jack's now involved in, it's amazing, the athleticism. And how much more of a competitive athletic sport this is growing into that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, it's almost like it's gymnastics adjacent.
Oh my gosh!
Not just rah-rah football or whatever.
We not watch cheer.
Right.
So how's Jack's day to day at Midlothian High School.
Go
Does
ahead.
he enjoy it? What does he? Is there challenges he faces with just the way kids are today, or for the most part is? I think being mascot helps. I mean,
Tremendously, and he is recognized. Not by everybody, but and it's funny seeing the confidence boost in him. And sometimes we have to thump him down a little bit because he gets a little cocky with it. But you know what? It's a good feeling as a parent to think that my kid, I never thought my kid could potentially be this way or that confident, and have this opportunity. So, I mean, there's a group there are a group of educators in this district that are amazing people that I think go unrecognized, that do so much behind the scenes and genuinely are passionate about these kids. And this district has made a difference as well in my son's life.
Right.
But yeah, he from day to day, I think sometimes he's kind of in his own zone. He has certain accommodations where he'll get to leave one class early to get out before the crowd is dismissed to go to their next classes, and he does get overstimulated quite a bit, but he does for the most part really well, and he's become very comfortable, and to the point where he's comfortable now. Where this past year they made him, even though he was the JV mascot. He got to be what's called the hype man for the varsity games and some of the games where he's not in his mascot suit, and he's out there and he's in front of the student section.
Very cool.
And man, he is just getting them pumped up. He's dancing, he's moving, and it's just hard not to get emotional when I'm watching these games, or it's hard to watch the game.
Yeah, no kidding.
When your kiddo's down there doing this,
That's true.
and he's a very special kid. He has a huge heart. And is very passionate about like I said, Midlothian football. He can tell you every player on the team. He can tell you all the heritage players as well. And
Wow.
So if he couldn't make an MHS game and Heritage was playing, Dad, can we go? Dad, can we go? Absolutely. And for a parent, you're going in and you're buying general admission tickets. You go sit down and seeing these other kids come in and talk to Jack, or they call him JB, Jack Barnes. He likes being called JB, and they're, hey JB, and they'll come up. Now Jack's not capable of maintaining a conversation for long periods of time by any stretch. It's very simple, it's short, and one thing that we're not going to see is he doesn't have relationships like other people's kids do, where they're going over and spending the night at friend's house or going out and hanging out afterwards. He doesn't have that. So when you see the reaction that he gets when these kids interact with him, and just what it does for him, man, it's amazing.
How do you handle those moments of that he gets overstimulated and you can sense that the meltdown's fixing to happen?
Well, typically he's gotten to where he kind of retracts himself. He'll go do his thing, or we'll just leave him alone. There's times where that you can ask him a question and he's not processing it well. He may not speak directly to it at that time, or he's thinking. You can't push him.
Yeah.
You have to be patient and give him his space. As far as the meltdowns, at this point at 15, they're few and far between.
Okay.
They really are, and
good.
yeah, really. And when they do happen, they're short-lived.
Okay.
Now,
So-
do you feel like that that easing of that? Do you think that's largely age based, or do you think it's something developmental, especially like with the programs that he's in, as far as like the cheer and whatnot?
I think it's just a combination
Okay.
of things. I think it's Jen and I in his life, the way we interact with him.
I mean, having a stable family life and parents that love
Yeah.
you, that is the number one thing that leads to kids' success. So,
that absolutely. I mean, the kid is loved. He knows it.
yeah.
Margot is. All our kids, but
That's why God knows who to give these.
Well, you know what, and that's what I was thinking a while
Yeah,
ago.
God
when
knows
you were,
who to give these
when you
children
were,
to.
when you were talking about Jen earlier, that's one of the things that came to mind was there's no doubt. I know why
Yeah.
they're with her.
Yep.
And man, just what she's done for me too, is as far as man, she's one of the most organized people. Boy, she got me straightened out.
Well, can I mention the last thing that she did for you?
Go ahead.
Like she decided that she would like to lose a little bit of weight, and like
Absolutely.
you're down quite a bit now, right?
Yes, yes.
You look great, by the way.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. So probably about a year and a half or more ago, I was knocking on 300 pounds. And just how determined Jen is. She I won't say the original weight because I'll get in trouble.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna cut you off. Like we have a mic cut button that I was gonna enable. No.
I've officially reached the age where somebody asked, like I was filling a form out and I said age and I wrote in rude.
that's awesome.
I have a picture of Tim Wilkins on my bathroom mirror. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I look at is my inspiration of sexiness.
Is that what it is?
Stop.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh,
here's the head getting bigger.
notification.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Oh my God.
I'm a little disturbed that you have a picture of Tim in your bathroom. First off,
Thank you.
Daily
It gets deep around here, Luke.
You should be disturbed if I didn't have a picture.
Oh my goodness.
A daily affirmation by
agree to disagree.
By Rob,
Tim
yes.
Wilkins.
I tell you what, though, no, I might make a compilation of all these wonderful things he says about me. Like
Please
anytime
don't.
I'm feeling down, and
You'll just play the
Rob said nice things.
I'm
about
good
me.
enough. I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me.
People love me.
Hey, I will
That's right, Stuart.
give you the boost you need anytime, Tim.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, please
And-
stop.
and,
Does
you know,
he need any more
Rob,
boost?
that is what we love about you.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
not that, and other things, but
Yeah, but back to the weight loss. I mean, that's one thing too. We decided is knowing that Jack's more than likely going to be with us for a long time, and we both knew, we need to get healthy. We need to make ourselves healthy and create some longevity to the best of our ability. Anyways,
Sure, yeah.
The rest is out of our hands, but yeah, we. So thank you for noticing.
well, one of the things that
Maybe Rob will put a picture of me up in his bathroom.
Oh, there you go.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
The challenge, the gauntlet has
Yeah,
been
one
thrown
of the things
down.
that I constantly harp on my especially my boys about is you have to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others.
You're absolutely right. And a great analogy that I heard a long time ago was,
He practices what he preaches.
What would you say?
Ask him if he practices what he preaches.
I take care of myself in a lot of ways. I'm not perfect by any stretch.
If you ask Rob, you are.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little down. I think I'll call Rob today.
give me a shout.
But no, an analogy that I heard a long time ago, which just hit home with me, was, when you're getting on an airplane and the flight, you're going through the safety instructions, and when they talk about if there is an issue where the oxygen mask drops, they always tell you put the mask on yourself first, so that you can help others around you. Well, that applies to life. You do have to take care of yourself. You have to make time for yourself, especially in a situation. There's so many families out there that have special needs kids or any kind of disorder, and it's tough. I mean, my heart goes out when I think about single parents in general, or single parents that have special needs kids. Man, just the burdens that they deal with on a regular basis, on top of just life.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but yeah, you definitely have to take care of yourself. So, but man, it's been great, man, and seeing Jack out there running around as Rowdy.
Yeah.
So
That
now,
was my question earlier. When Rob was like, "How do you do this?" I was like, "That's not my question. I don't care. I do care about that, but I don't. That's not what I want to know." What they switch out mascots?
They have different suits.
Okay, but they're not the same mascot in the suit.
No,
Well, no,
they have their own name, and they put the name on the back, like
yeah, like they'll have
like
a
on the
jersey or
jersey,
something. Like he
That
wears
is weird to me, but that's fine. I get it. That's so fine.
Well, and it's funny
Not
because-
anything on Jack. I'm talking the school district here. That's weird.
Oh,
to
trust
me.
me. Well, I'm learning all the learning all the do's and don'ts and the etiquettes of mascotting.
of course
which
there's
is
this, but we didn't realize
the
that.
first time that when Jack was dressed as Rowdy and I called him Jack.
Oh, that is that is Disney 101. Yeah.
That was
That
a
is
no-no.
Disney
Yeah.
101.
He was not pleased with me. He was walking around, you know.
Did you do it in public or at home?
It was in public.
Oh,
That made it
even worse.
It was worse. It was worse. When that costume is on, that is rowdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is rowdy.
Oh,
And then and now it's you know.
I'm mad for him.
Well, okay, so
Does it seem-
now one of the things we like to do here is inform, and so now anybody listening to the show knows when you see the mascot there
Yes.
on the field, that's Rowdy. That's
That is
not
Rowdy.
Jack. We all know who he is underneath, but that's
exactly
Rowdy.
right. Right.
Yeah.
Definitely call him Rowdy.
Do you find when he's ever in costume, does he kind of like, does his personality change at all? I mean,
Absolutely.
being that he's in character.
Absolutely. He is.
It's the best way to be in character, to dress up is to be in character.
Absolutely, absolutely. This confidence, the interaction that we wouldn't see in the past, but getting so acclimated to that. That's why, you know, Jen and I were all in when we saw his mannerisms change when he put this costume on, because like I said, it was the ultimate security blanket or superhero costume.
Yeah.
And now to the point where he doesn't have to have it. And it's been amazing to find something, that niche that he clinged on to, and what just the development and growth that we've seen in him. It's amazing.
It's a feat. It's a feat. He's obtained the ability or obtained the job of mascot. He puts the costume on, and I mean, the security to perform in front of hundreds to thousands of people.
I love this.
At a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's amazing. He's won the last 2 years. He's won All-American through UCA, and so we've been able to take him down to Florida to participate.
Yeah, you
in
did that recently, right?
Yeah.
But what is UCA?
United Cheer Association?
Okay.
You're looking at me
think-
like I know. It's just-
I had to look at somebody.
Okay,
Well,
so
is that
I'm
the,
actually
you said
Ashley's
Florida?
gonna
Is
look
that
it
in
up for
Disney
us.
World?
So
I
no,
mean,
it was
if she
actually
pull
busy
herself
petting
away
a
from the.
puppy right
it's
now.
in Orlando, right?
It is in Orlando,
Oh, I
but
think she's becoming one with that puppy.
it's adorable puppy, by the way. So what he actually got to do is be a part of a pregame show for cheerleaders and mascots
Oh, that's awesome.
that are all Americans across the country for the Citrus Bowl. So last year we got to go, and it was, I think, Iowa and Kentucky, I believe. And so he gets to go and perform right before the game in front of all these people, and then we get to stay and watch this football game. And then this year we got to go, and I'm trying to remember, I think it was Purdue and LSU, which was completely lopsided.
Oh yeah.
But again, and then this time my daughter Margot also won All-American, and
Yes.
so they got to perform together as siblings.
I love getting to follow your wife's Facebook feed and seeing all the stuff your kids are doing. By
Oh
the way,
man,
That-
it's
that
awesome.
just-
It's
yeah.
fun.
By the way, it's Universal Cheer Association.
Yes,
According
yes.
to our fact checker.
Thank you, Ashley.
okay.
That's
Thank
them,
you,
actually.
thank you
She's
very
so
much for
smart.
doing that.
No, that's not me. It's her. It's actually in the back of my head.
She keeps us from looking at like we're dumb.
Gotcha.
Yep.
But yeah, just cheer in general. Like I said, it's really opened our eyes to that world and the athleticism and these girls and boys, young men and women, just the efforts that they put into it and exert. Man, it's very impressive. It's very impressive.
One of the things that I love about having you on is that all our listeners now, you know, we're a local podcast and literally dozens of people listen to this. But the people
Speak
going
for yourself. Thousands listen to me.
I see why we're.
The people that go to the games now are going to be able to see Rowdy
Yeah.
and know his story.
Yeah.
And I love that. And that's got to be
man,
so much
I
more
love it.
special than just seeing some kid in a suit running around. You know?
Right. And there's a lot to it. But you know, he's unique and special in his own, but he's not the only one. There's so many kids out there, so many people out there that are the same way, you know, but there's so many amazing, it's like Jen and I call it the blessings with the curse, you know.
Sure.
There's so many positive, so many amazing things. Like this kid, you know, he doesn't get caught up in drama. We don't see the adolescent drama that you see with a lot of, you know, high schoolers or junior hires. But
What about Margot? Is she? I know she's kind of tween.
she's
tween
getting
age.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
getting there. She has her moments where she comes in and it's just it's a little soap opera ish.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it's but that's one thing that we love. Jack gets out there; he's kind of in his own world, and the cheer teams have embraced him. The football team most of them know who he is and acknowledge him, and it's just been a blessing for us to be here and plugged in, and just the way this community that he does interact with they have treated him.
Yeah,
it really is.
So naturally, it was all the great planning that we put into this show to coordinate your visit with, Autism Awareness Month.
Right.
That was totally our forethought and planning ahead of time.
Right.
He says as he's the planner.
Well, it wasn't totally because your wife contacted me about a fundraiser.
Yes.
that Jack does.
Yes.
As part of now is it. It's the football association though that this is for, right?
The football program. So what being in cheer is very costly for each one of these individuals. Just with all the uniforms, gear that they have to buy, travel for competitions, things of that nature. And so what the high schools do, both high schools, they sell ads to individuals, independent business, large business, whoever.
Yes,
to buy an ad on different scales.
And Tiffany and I are previous customers.
Yes,
We are. We did totally advertise last year.
And we absolutely appreciate that. And so a portion of the cost of those ads goes to basically a savings account for the cheerleader or the mascot.
Okay.
And then other to just support, of course, the cost of the programs themselves, but the funding that goes into helping support the team financially.
Okay.
Plus, you get to get a copy of the program, and Jack delivers it.
I tell you what, that was
Well,
a
it was
really
Jack.
good-looking program.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they
Jack
really are.
actually delivered it, not Rowdy. I want to make that very, very clear.
Yes, and
Jack.
and two, it's fun too when you have some businesses that, hey, what would you think about maybe Rowdy coming up and taking a picture in front of your business, and we can post that in the in the program. You see it with cheerleaders too, going out to these small businesses that have paid for these ads, and man, it's so helpful, and it's an opportunity for small business to get some publicity as well, because I don't know if y'all have been to any of the football games around here, but we take our football pretty seriously.
It's true.
Our
It's
high
true.
school football.
In Texas, it's a religion.
Yeah, absolutely, it really is.
So to be really clear, what they're doing as a fundraiser is they sell space in the yearly football program, and it's a book. It's it's a little bit bigger than an 8.5 by 11.
Magazine size.
Yeah, it's magazine size, but
It's-
Looks like a catalog.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like an inch thick.
Yeah,
and
it's like a good JCPenney Christmas edition.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's pretty good size.
Good example.
It's beautifully,
very
like
well
the
done.
glossy pages and everything like that. And it's not only businesses advertising themselves. It's also parents taking a page out for their senior. Right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
That's a big one. So Jack does get the stuff that he the ones that he sells. He gets a particular portion of, right?
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
and that's with all the cheerleaders and mascots. So when they go out, it's funny. I was telling my wife, this reminds me of when I was a kid, and everybody in my school got the box of chocolates to go out and sell.
Oh,
and,
America's best.
and 10 kids lived in my
Finest,
neighborhood.
finest.
Oh yes. Uh-huh.
So it's like you're knocking on doors and it's hit or miss, or what? Yeah, I already sold to the kid over there. And it has its challenges. So we're trying to reach out and find outlets maybe that haven't been tapped yet.
Okay, well, we want to help how we can, and so our dozens
Appreciate
of
that.
listeners, we're going to ask them to go to our
Send
Facebook
dozens of
page,
dollars.
where Tiffany is going to link what we need to link
Awesome.
to hook up with the to getting an ad in the football program through Jack.
Awesome.
Okay.
Man.
And so if you're out there and you would like to advertise to, I don't know, the people that watch football here.
Is there a
in
cost on
Midlothian.
this, or
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
there's.
So
so?
That
Can we
is
go
the
over that?
fundraising part.
it varies. Honestly, so we
Hold on, I got it here.
It is
You
a
wanna-
complicated structure. I mean, like not
It
super
is.
complicated, but like all that information will be on the
Absolutely.
and it's
I just
for a
make it into
business. It's
image.
very affordable.
Yeah.
You know, Tiffany and I, we don't have a huge business.
No.
You know, we have some very loyal customers, but it's not a huge business.
Is there a
And
form that you
Yes, I
have?
have. I have.
or-
I can provide that.
She'll, yeah,
Well,
she'll put that
either
up
of
on
us
our
have a
Facebook
form.
page.
I'm going to turn it into an image first.
Yeah,
Let me see it. Let me see
we'll,
it.
we'll
Hold
make
on,
that
I'm getting
happen.
to it. I'm getting to it. I'm still in the afternoons here, and it was definitely sent this morning.
So, okay, so we want our listeners to help Jack out with that. We also have a couple other things going on in town, and specifically, there is a lady who, you know, is from Midlothian. And,
Yes. Are
John,
you talking about
Amanda?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me
Yeah,
start
yeah.
this.
Rob, why don't you?
First of all, my wife and I have both known Amanda for a long time. Well back. I mean, I met Karen when she was 15. Amanda's her age. Church in Red Oak back in the day, and recently she's been diagnosed with cervical cancer. And Amanda is someone that a lot of people know here in Midlothian. She's a beloved citizen, and they're having a benefit for her May 7th at Railport. You've got some live music happening. J.D. Cobb, Landon Blake, Mike Terry, Jimmy Zapata, Eric Marion. Jason Herron will be there. Josh Morowski, Calamity Janes, Katie Lynn's in the house. My boy Kane and Bryce.
Oh yeah, I like him.
And the Trace Medlock Band. I'll be performing 12 o'clock at Railport. There's a silent auction.
say the date again.
And the live music's gonna be all day.
What's that? Live music's going to
May
be all day.
7th.
Yeah,
May
May
7th.
May 7th. So I know we're going to be out there. Personally, you guys do what you want. I'm going out there.
Now that's a Sunday.
It is
so
Sunday, May 7th.
Mark your calendar. It's on a Sunday, May 7th.
Listen, I've sat back and I've watched this group. They've got a dedicated Facebook page. A few of my friends, our friends, John's friends, all of our friends, really. I guarantee you, if you realized who was all a part of putting this in the works, it's people you know, Tiffany, people you know, Tim, and John and Marnie and so forth. So I've kind of sat back and I've watched all this come together, and it's pretty amazing. I've been a part of a lot of benefits. As a matter of fact, I've had a benefit done for me when I got out of the hospital, and I'm going to tell you that this is probably going to be one of the biggest benefits I've ever seen.
I hope it.
I hope it is. I know I'm going to be there. You know, maybe depending on all of our schedules, some or all of us here at Cement City Chatter can broadcast while we're out there. Personally, I'm
Yeah,
going
let's
out.
make that happen.
I'm going out there,
John?
and I'm dropping
it
some
so.
dough. I'm definitely
I'm
going out
in.
there and dropping some dough in the auction. But yeah, May 7th, it's going to be the place to be. Anybody that can come out. I think at one point we were going to have somebody on the show that fell through, but nevertheless,
we're still gonna have a show dedicated to. It's on the calendar.
okay. We do have it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin Kaufman's gonna come. He's gonna talk a little bit.
Okay.
Then
Justin's-
I think we have a couple other people too.
Justin, when's Justin?
He got
But wait, it's
distracted
coming.
by
But
Justin.
wait,
Justin's
hold on.
coming?
But how is that going to happen when like your two favoriteest people?
Wait a minute. When's Justin coming?
I don't know. I don't.
It'll be on
I
the
look at the calendar.
We'll teach you
don't
how
run
to
it.
look at the
We
calendar.
do need to
later.
reach out and
No,
remind
seriously. Everybody, mark your calendars for May 7th.
Sunday,
let-
May 7th.
Yeah, let's see everybody at
At
Railport.
noon.
I'm probably going to have an open tab
Starting at noon.
starting at noon.
Starting at noon.
When does that start again?
It starts at noon.
noon?
Starts at noon.
No way.
Well, I'll be coming straight from church. I'll tell you that right
And
now.
let me tell you right now, Amanda Mayfield, if you're listening to, baby girl, we're praying for you.
Yes, we
Indeed.
are.
Everything's going to be okay.
Yep.
So that's what's coming up. What else we got coming up?
Oh, we have a top secret rendezvous at Wilson Seafood. That
Oh,
that
guys,
can't
guys,
talk about.
guys, we
So top
cannot.
secret that I had no idea about it.
We cannot.
You're not invited.
We're not going to break any information, but I will tell you that we're going to go check out the building. It's coming along.
Well, that's nice to know.
So it sounds like Sean is going to be able to stick to his. We're going to open in May.
Oh,
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't
Yeah.
think we'd be doing what we're doing Monday.
what are we doing Monday?
Tiffany didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
All right. Well, that's cool.
All right. So that you know what, that wraps our show. I think we've been yapping long enough. It was really awesome.
No, it's really awesome. This is, I mean, how we couldn't have planned this better. It's Autism Month.
Yeah.
You know, JB, because his friends
Jack
call him
Barnes.
JB. He's my friend.
He's our friend.
JB.
now.
Jack Barnes.
Rowdy.
We're gonna come to a game. We're gonna see him. Get some pictures on the website with them. Let's talk about the sponsorship opportunities. Maybe we'll post.
By the way, the email said that there were 400 programs sold last year. So when you, like from a marketing perspective, you always say that it goes in at least 3 to 4 hands for everyone that's sold. So that means you're getting about 24, well, I mean, about 1,600 impressions
Right.
per.
You're so smart.
Are we not able to list cost on
We
this?
can, yeah,
or-
but it's
They have different. You can buy
different
half a
sizes,
page,
and you
a
can buy
full
for
page.
both one
Yeah.
a high school or both, and then it gets a little
Right.
kludgy. By the way, they only take check, so I had
Right.
to go to the bank.
Hey, you know, I have to, John can verify this. Every time I have to write, I don't have a checkbook. Every
Same.
Same.
every time I need to write a check, and I don't really write checks, except for John over here. But
He writes me them.
so I literally like, okay, can I do it tomorrow? I have to literally go to the bank and
Yeah, I do
So
have
Fred-
a checkbook.
print me
but
out a page of checks.
I
The
just
last-
think
the
I
last
think you just
5
need to print out.
checks.
You just
Get
need
No,
to.
I-
the
I-
$2
last 5
sheet.
checks were buying houses
Hey.
and buying pizza the first day I was in the
I
house.
think
my
you just
Fred-
need to print them out and
so
just have them
Fred-
sitting here
no,
for
Fred
me.
came home yesterday.
I ordered a checkbook today.
Fred came home yesterday.
And
Why?
It pissed me off because
Why?
I've been
2023.
my bank. My bank will.
That's
I
what
can
everybody
walk-
at Deluxe
no,
said. We've got an order.
I can walk in the bank and tell them to print me off a page of checks for free. I get
Yeah.
free money orders and
Yeah, that's
or
all I do.
cashier's checks and checks.
I do it like every
Everybody
3
loves
years.
Rob
Like
so much they let
once
him
every
withdraw
3
money
years.
from other people's accounts.
You know, Brad is
So-
having a field day with us, trying to
Because
listen
we're
to the rest
talking
of the
about
podcast.
so Fred came home.
Brad.
Brad.
Fred came home yesterday from school, and they've been talking about money. Right? She's in 2nd grade, and she goes, "Mommy, do they make any of that paper money stuff anymore?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "You know that paper money stuff." Checks. And I was like, no, baby, they really don't.
No, that was done in the 90s. So.
Right.
I'm convinced that the only ones
and
that are out were
In closing,
Made in the 90s.
our cryptocurrencies have gone up in the world. No, we won't go there. But
No,
anyway,
Cassie, it was fantastic having you on
hey,
here.
thank you so very much
know
for
what? No,
coming on and
but-
sharing
you.
Jack with us.
Oh, man.
I mean, in the city, and to those that haven't had the privilege of meeting him, and come out to the games and check
Come say hey to
out
him.
Jack.
Oh yeah, because they now sell a season pass to the games, so you can get into all
That's
the
long
games.
overdue.
Yeah, I mean it was this was the first year.
Yeah.
You have
Wait.
a season pass?
No, I don't like football.
Hey, this has been a blast. You know, I really.
I know. I better return my
I
Texan
get to
card.
go through a special entrance, and that not everybody can go through, and I can get straight onto the field with my VIP status. By the way, anybody who has a kid in band, you can join me as a VIP, pushing stuff around on the field.
There you go.
As a band booster. So
Excellent,
As long as you're moving
excellent.
equipment.
Well,
But
thank you, Casey, for
Thank
coming on the
you.
show. Thank
This
you.
has been amazing. This has been a
Th-
blast.
Thank you, Tiffany, for being on time. Thank you, John, for always hosting and building the
The
Opoka
most
Palace.
professional
Tim
among
Wilkins,
us.
thank you for being as beautiful as you are. Midlothian, we love you. And we'll see you next week.
Peace.
And we're out.
we're
Bye.
out.